I don't know what I'm going to do, but it's going to be fucked up.
We'll get these tiny cigarettes in these tiny hands.
Yeah, you know, you just gotta love the ladies sometimes. You gotta flip the bean.
It's out. The intern that comes on things can puff gas with me, and we'll create like the gas uppers.
Welcome to the show, everybody.
Episode 4.
Episode 4. What is it? Labor Day? Is it Labor Day or Memorial Day?
I think it's Labor Day, but I'm not the one to ask about that.
Well, happy holiday weekend, everybody, for those of you tuning in on this fine American weekend.
Yeah, it's drama.
And Fast Finger Slim here.
And we're back again. We want to first of all break down the fact that we record these a little early.
Just a little bit. Hearing this, we're about 2 weeks out, because the first time we recorded, we did 2 episodes, but then we kind of decided to do 1 a week just so we can stay topical.
Yeah, we thought we were going to be like way worse at this and not actually like be on time.
Yeah.
So now we're a little bit ahead. Today is the 18th of August. But you're hearing it on the 1st of September, if we can do math.
High future Fast Finger Slim and drama. I
hope we're both dead.
I was going to say, holy shit. I was going to say,
fucking knew it.
I wonder if there's any advice we can give ourselves for like future us 2 weeks from now.
Probably just something generic, like stop drinking so much for me.
Don't eat fried rice for breakfast.
Speaking of drinking, we're going to get right into it.
Oh, yes.
It seems like every episode, my beginning is talking about drinking and smoking.
Usually.
So to make it even better this week, I stopped by Binny's. Shout out Binny's if you want to sponsor us. Is that just a Illinois thing, like Chicago area?
It's a Chicagoland area thing,
okay.
Because one of my bosses, actually, he's a huge fan of Binny's.
He's a huge fan of beer.
Huge fan of it. He says they have the best wine selection. And
well, who fucking cares? That's the section I skip out of.
What do we got here? A Field Museum Edition beer, it looks like.
I did a make your own 6-pack, which is one of my favorite things.
Of course.
It's like $10 to get 6 beers. I like to try them out because I like to dibble and dabble, and I never know. Buying a fucking 6-pack or even a 4-pack of some shit, I've done it so many times where I'm like, this looks cool.
So
like the better the artwork, the worse the beer, I think. And
I've noticed.
Constantly pissed. Like, oh, I threw away a bunch of money and I have to struggle through these beers.
Flying Dog is one of the worst tasting beers I've ever had.
And the artwork is the best.
It's so
because
cool.
It's fucking Ralph Steadman.
It's Ralph Steadman, and it looks so good. And I always wanted to try that oyster stout they had, but I could never bring myself to get a 4-pack because it's like, okay, it's beer brewed with oysters.
And it's
I don't even think I like oysters.
It's like $13 for some of these.
Right.
And you're like, this is a gamble. Even at like bars, I hate doing it.
I mean, you can get a 4-pack of Guinness for like $6.99.
Yeah, you can get a fucking goddamn Steel Reserve for 79 cents at some participating Walmart location.
You can get 2 40s and play Edward 40 Hands with yourself.
And then you can lose a friend. Last time I played Edward 40 Hands, I stopped being friends with one of my best friends.
That's really...
So don't play that.
Can we get into the story, or is it too emotionally traumatizing?
I feel like at some point we'll touch on it. It's basically
the next drinking episode.
Yeah, next drinking episode, which will probably be in the near future.
Drinking 2 Electric Boogaloo is what we'll call it.
Exactly. It's just you get too drunk too quickly, and it's just the fucking. And we were both experienced drinkers, and he just got out of control. I had to walk home in the rain, so I didn't fight him. We'll leave it at that. But the beers I got, we're gonna run through them real quick. I haven't had any of these before. The first one here is by Off Color, and it is Tooth and Claw. As Slim stated, it is a Field Museum exclusive.
It's got a T-Rex skeleton.
It's got a T-Rex skeleton. It looks fucking sick. That's part of the reason why I grabbed it.
More than likely.
Number 2.
There's a mouse with a magnifying glass on top of the T-Rex. I just noticed. I like that.
Yeah, a lot of attention to detail. Number 2 is a Beerito, amber Mexican style lager. I got it because of the name.
It makes me think of the quesarito, and I don't know if I...
I want a liquid quesarito. I hope it's what it tastes like.
Hope. It says Malty Sanchez. Is that anything related to the Dirty Sanchez family?
Yeah, it's a can of Dirty Sanchez.
Jesus. A quesarito in a can. Dirty Sanchez style.
Yeah, that's how I get them at Taco Bell.
Fuck.
Number 3 is the Raven Special Lager. It has a beautiful cartoon Edgar Allan Poe.
Could I keep the cap from this when you drink it? Because it's got a little character.
Yeah,
on top.
It's got him on top drinking a beer. Yeah, I used to be a big fan of his writings when I was a depressed child.
Back when
I had that big fucking collection of all this shit that's bigger than a Bible. Number 4, we got a Dark Horse Kamikaze Kaleidoscope. It
I
has,
noticed that one before we started the show. I like that artwork
it has
on that
very
one.
great artwork.
Super psychedelic. It looks like those old like hot rod ones you see where the guy's
Yeah,
eyes
like
are
a lot
popping
of
out
like
on like
low
monster
brow
trucks,
art.
you know?
Yeah, that one's probably the best artwork, maybe.
That looks very similar to your artwork, so I like that you called it lowbrow artwork.
Yeah, I think that's the name for it. This is a next one. It's a Wise Acre beer. It's called Gotta Get Up to Get Down. Coffee milk stout.
Ooh, that
My
sounds
favorite
good.
beers are coffee beers. Not so much in the summer because they're thick.
Yeah.
But either way, I guess it's the summer and I'll probably end up drinking it.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen you turn down a drink in the not just in the summer, but at any time.
And the last one is Odd Side Ales called Bean Flicker. It's a blonde ale with coffee.
Of course it's a blonde ale.
Now I'm gonna drink all 6 of these in the duration of the episode.
Man, can
we
he
should do one. We do about an hour episode. So what's that? 10 minutes of beer.
10 minutes.
We should do one at some point where I drink 6 beers in the duration of the podcast.
Why
and
not
we
make
just
it this episode?
these are all too nice to drink.
These are like you need to get a.
And I don't know because one of these is gonna be bad. Which one should I drink?
Ooh, okay. I think you should start with the Edgar Allan Poe. I'm interested to see how that tastes.
Let's get to it. Is it a twist off? No, it's not a twist off.
Never a twist.
Good thing
off.
I'm
You want
prepared.
twist.
Listen to that.
Man, that is beautiful. That is like an ASMR experience listening to that.
Yeah, the next episode is just me opening bottles and cans. And then drinking all of them in 10 minutes.
We
all of them in 10 minutes. This changed quickly.
Man, that'd be the rest of the ASMR is just you really close to the mic, just like ranting about your enemies and breathing really, really hard. Just,
So this is not the best.
What does it taste like? Give me a
I
run.
I'm the worst at this because a beer is a beer. It
Yeah.
just
Just
I'm gonna
bad.
look like a asshole because everyone who does like make your own 6-packs, they're like, it has a beautiful aroma.
Has
It's
high
an
notes,
amber color
hints of chestnuts
and
and
hazelnut.
lemongrass. I believe
Tastes like someone pissed in my mouth.
it tastes like bum piss that's been filtered through natural agave nectar.
I love it. But yeah, it's not terrible, but it's not great. Let me get back into it. It's just me chugging it for 2 minutes.
Like
Because you chug for 2 minutes. It's the slowest chug I've ever seen.
like those big hard gulps where it's like, bleh.
Yeah, because I'm just pouring it back out of my mouth because that's how I thought we chug things. Like, oh, you're supposed to swallow it? That'll make me sick.
You are an embarrassment to take out to the bars. I just want to point that out for everybody.
Oh, there's the guy that spits beer up everywhere.
Oh, there's the guy who calls it chugging. I don't know why he calls it chugging because none of it goes inside of him.
This is why we need a visual component because it's like me with all my beers.
If you're
The
listening to
Simpsons with the milkshakes.
If-
Get a picture of all the milkshakes.
Get Lisa, get a picture of me with the milkshakes. Oh, Dad.
So yeah,
We should have people who are listening to the show should let us know if they'd be interested in a visual component at all, because I think a good YouTube visual would be good for what we
I'd be
do.
down. I got a camera. We can add some more wires to this.
I know you
cluster
folks
fuck.
can't see what we're recording in down here, but when I came down today, we have a much more significant setup set up
Yeah.
here by Drama.
We're-
It's starting to look more professional.
We're
and
doing big
everything.
things. Shout out to Matt. He's the god.
Shout out to Matt. And man, just so much thanks for that, guy. So much thanks to you for getting all this equipment. We actually feel like a professional operation. We're on iTunes, goddammit.
Yeah, that's a big thing in here. And yes, for those of you that think we're just real sloppy about it, we're actually quite professional.
We're very
Whether or not our pants are up.
I mean,
Pants on.
fuck it, pants up.
Oh, already.
Pants up.
All right, and then my other point, because it's going to irritate me because I'm about to smoke a cigarette because I'm drinking and everything.
Yeah, you had mentioned you had something you wanted to talk about today.
Pisses me off.
Let's get into it.
Before I light it, let me tell you folks. Last night I live by a 7-Eleven and a Road Ranger. I hate going in the Road Ranger. It's always a nightmare. I like to help out the 7-Eleven because they're always very nice to me. You look like you're peeking over the pop filter like a child or the Tool Time neighbor, the Home Improvement.
Can we put that clip in?
Oh,
the show?
we're going to litter this episode with Tim Allen grunt. I made a DJ mix one time on SoundCloud when I was sick, and instead of the air horn, it just had the Tim Allen grunt. So it'd be like Young Thug, and it'd be like, and then it'd just drop into some hard ass shit.
The Tim Allen grunt is one of the funniest fucking things I have ever heard in my entire life. I think what we need to do is get Tim Allen on the show and see if he can just do some grunts.
Yeah,
for us.
he supports Trump, so
I mean, we could at least have some interesting viewpoints to talk about with him.
Yeah, I want Wilson. That's the neighbor, right? Wilson?
Yeah, but would we have a fence for him to record behind?
How the fuck else would we have?
But I mean, do you think he brings his own fence?
Maybe, but I don't think it would be like the full experience. I'll build one. I've got time and wood. I got wood for Wilson. Woodforwilson.com. That's our official website.
We're gonna put out a t-shirt that the Dapper Dads have wood for Wilson.
Oh, damn, that's fucking good.
We can give it away in the bucket.
Yeah, we got a lot of ideas.
We got some merch coming your way. So if you guys are interested in that, if you guys would actually buy some Dapper Dads merch and wear it, let us know. Let us know on Facebook. Comment on iTunes. We'd be more than happy to drop some merch if people would actually buy it, because I'm not trying to sit on like 600 various sizes of Dapper Dad shirts.
Oh yeah, because we already need money. That's why we're constantly shouting out to sponsors.
Constantly.
This is a money draining operation.
If anybody would like to know,
we're working at a deficit.
We still have no sponsors for the show.
Yeah, shockingly.
I mean,
email is dapperdadspodcast@gmail.com. I don't know why the fuck it's so empty.
Have we not gotten a single email yet?
I don't know. I think since we're backlogged in the episodes, we haven't really gotten to the
like
website. So we're going to get
in 2 weeks, we're like, we're flooded with ideas.
Oh, yeah, but back to my story.
Yeah, what did you want to rant on today?
So I go to 7-Eleven just to, help out 7-Eleven. They're nice people. I get my cigarettes there, and then I get my gas at Road Ranger because I'm like a fucking 80-year-old man who's stuck in his ways. So I pop in there real quick just to grab some smokes, get them. Newport 100s is what I smoke. Feel free to send them to us. Is that legal? I don't give a fuck. Send me cigarettes.
Yeah, send cigarettes in the mail to drama@dapperdadsofficial@gmail.com.
Yeah, the post office knows what's good. So I go in there, Newport 100s, gives them to me, doesn't card me. We have a rapport. Get out to the car, throw them in my passenger seat, and I notice that they're really small. Because he gave me fucking shorts.
Ooh.
And then I look, and there's a huge line, so I'm not going to be that guy because I'm too fucking awkward and nice to ever be like, you did this wrong. So I'll just cry by myself.
And smoke my cigarettes.
Fucking shorts. It drives me crazy. I haven't been given shorts in years. And it's just like, now everything's fucked up. I smoke cigarettes time to like how I drive, and everything's a nightmare. I keep smoking the fucking filters because it's like I light them and they're already at the goddamn filters. Who's smoking shorts?
I remember one time. Back in the day when I used to smoke Parliaments, I grabbed a pack of Parliament 100s by accident, and I thought I was smoking a filter the whole time, and I realized why only old ladies that sit at the slot machines all day smoke Parliament 100s.
Just to let them rock. I love 100s the perfect amount of time, depending on who I'm with, because if people don't smoke, they're constantly like, hurry up with your cigarette, and I'm like, I'm going to smoke it down the filter. I paid too much money for these. And I paid the same amount for shorts. Who the fuck is like, let me get less product for the same amount of money? These things, I just lit one and I feel my fingers are already on fire. It's fucking, and then I'm going to Madison tomorrow. I'm like, I can't take these to Madison. Pull them out. Like, people who think that cigarette companies target children, only with shorts. Because I swear to God, a kid should be smoking these fucking cigarettes. Newport, sponsor us. I got a fucking marketing scheme. We'll get these tiny cigarettes in these tiny hands. Fucking... Yeah, that might sound like a very petty rant, but I'm a very petty man, and I want my goddamn 100.
This is petty America, after all. I mean, let's be real. It's 2017.
Smoking short cigarettes and drinking average beers.
I just want to paint a visual for everybody who can't see us. Not only does Drama's hat say visual on it, he's wearing a beautiful shirt that says, I'm just here for the beer, with 6 beers in front of him, smoking Newport shorts, and his lighter, I shit you not, is an American flag with a bald eagle flying.
I've had that lighter for over a year.
How?
My favorite thing to do is not lose a lighter.
My favorite, I carry a Lucky lighter with me everywhere, and I will show you. This is my Lucky lighter.
That's pretty nice.
It's got a sugar skull girl on the front of it, and I call it Isabella, and it just goes with me everywhere.
Yeah, that's how I feel about this American lighter. I just happened to acquire it, and I'm like, I'm never going to lose it, and I haven't lost it yet.
2, 1. What are we giving away this time? Man, I know it's been 2 weeks since the episode, but...
Yeah, that episode just aired today, so I wanted to give a big congratulations to Cole.
Congratulations,
the
Cole.
fucking Cars DVD. You guys thought we were playing.
No,
games.
nobody thought we were playing games. And Cole, if you're listening to the show, I will encourage you to post a picture of it on our page.
Yeah, we'll get that out there. It'll probably come out before this episode.
He did request the cum covered edition.
Yeah, so we're gonna have some work to do.
We're gonna have to work on this.
It's not gonna be my cum.
I mean, it's not gonna be mine. So who wants to come to the Dapper Dad's dungeon and get jacked off?
If you're looking for an intern opportunity, we need someone to come on a copy of
great
Cars
would it
too.
be? Man, how great would that be? We actually get like a thing at Dapper Dad's Gmail, and they're like, "Yeah, about that internship, what does it pay? Absolutely nothing."
They're like, "Look at my portfolio, and it's just cum time DVDs." I'm like, "Cool, I have forwarded this to the proper authorities to handle whatever the fuck you're doing in your dungeon."
But it's to me, and I'm just like, "Yeah, let's have him on the show. This sounds good. We'll have anybody.
We'll interview him. We need to see how you work." But yeah,
I don't want to see how the guy who comes on the Cars 2 DVD works.
We will give away shit. Like, what other fucking podcast on their second fucking episode
gives something away to you?
Well, one even gives you anything. They beg for money, and we will take your money, but we won't beg for it.
No, I mean, if you want to give us stuff, we'll take it. But what is something we could give away if we get 5 burps in this episode? What would be something fun to give to people?
Yeah, I don't know, because that's what was so great about Cars 2 is it literally just stumbled out of my mouth, and now we have to acquire a copy of Cars 2 that may or may not have been jerked off onto. But yeah,
that's how we requested it. It's made to order.
Yeah, I mean, we gotta listen to the people, listen to the kids, bro.
Cole, please allow 6 to 8 weeks for shipping.
Please allow 6 to 8 weeks for cum. That's what I tell every girl I've ever hooked up with. Like you'll get it in the mail. It's a process.
It comes separate.
Yeah, literally. It's just a saggy Amazon. Like, what the fuck?
Oh, man, they fucked up my order.
Shout out to Amazon because I ordered a cord for this podcast and I bought the wrong one because I'm an idiot. So I was like, oh, I'm going to return this shit. And then they were like, yeah, here's your refund. You don't even have to send it back. I'm like, that's fucking sick. Like, so I have this useless cord.
You paid your money, and now we'll also take some more money.
Yeah, but they refunded it, and then they didn't make me send it back. So maybe we'll give away that cord.
If gets to 5 burps, we will send you the wrong audio cable.
It's mono, not stereo, so you'll think your headphones are fucked up for
that
a
is
while.
so awful.
Yeah, we won't give that away.
No,
I'm going to burn it. Amazon's going to take over the world.
They're going to.
Between Amazon and Google.
No, it's going between Amazon, Google, and Facebook. I think those are the 3 bigs that are going to carry us forward into the future.
They have too much power.
I mean, Mark Zuckerberg is running for president in 2020, so like, what's not?
Everyone's running for president. In
fucking Dwayne the fuck Johnson is running for president.
Yeah,
in
that's what he's running under. Hey, it's Dwayne the fuck Johnson. This message is brought to you by the people for Dwayne the fuck Johnson.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to present to you Dwayne the Dick Diddler. That's not my name.
It's gonna be. But yeah, we'll figure out. We gotta work on something else to give out. Let me get some more burps out because it might not even be.
If we get to 5, we'll figure something out.
Yeah.
So stay tuned. If you're losing interest in this episode, you could win something.
Oh God, I might win something awful. Something that may or may not have been jerked off into.
That's the condition for everything.
Yeah, it might have come in it.
It might.
That's also what I tell everyone I know. Hey, can I borrow that record? Yeah, it may or may not have come in the sleigh.
Man, I'm never gonna ask to borrow anything from you ever again.
You already knew what it was.
Yeah, you knew it.
All this equipment is covered in semen. What did you think? It's everywhere.
It's like a fucking ant trap. I can't even get out of my chair.
So you had a story about almost fighting a person?
Here's what happened. My sister works. I don't want to say where because I don't want to be giving this stuff out.
Let's give her full government name, her hours, her schedule. People.
She works in a public place though, and it's not a public place where a lot of people go. And so something I've noticed about that is like
it's a library.
It's not a library. Weirdos are drawn to those places.
That's true.
They're drawn to places where they can go in public and not be bothered by.
I used to go to the downtown branch of the library here, and because I didn't have
where there
internet.
were just
so-
bums sleeping
Oh, yeah.
in the library. It was great.
But they give you like 30 minutes, and there would be so many bums next to me on the
So
computer
many.
jerking off in their sweatpants, looking at like MySpace profiles, because that's how dated this is.
Yeah.
And then I had to go beg for 15 more minutes, and the guy would be stingy with it, and it's like, bro, I'm just trying to steal songs and not jerk off. So like, let me stay.
I'm
on
the
this
one
computer.
who's actually doing
I don't want to
something.
be home. Someone stole my bike while I was here. Give me more time on the computer. All of those things are real. Fuck the guy who stole my bike. You fucking piece of shit. I hope you got hit by a bus on it because it has no brakes.
Were you foot braking it?
I was just rolling.
You were just
rolling
doing
with the punches. I got hit by a car on that one time.
Did you
too.
really?
Yeah, car pulled out of CJ's. You know how it has that like second?
Oh, shout out
Like
to
little-
CJ's though.
love
I love
CJ's.
CJ's.
We've definitely already talked about our love for CJ's, but I was just strolling down State Street and this car like jetted out of this alley and hit me gently, but enough to piss me off. I think I had fried rice from Happy Walk and it spilled everywhere, and I
That'd be
spit on
enough
the
to piss
car
me
and I was
off.
like, "Get the fuck out of the car!" They did not. No.
I normally do not.
You hit a person.
I
You
mean-
hit a like 15-year-old kid
I mean,
and his Happy Walk. Fucking love downtown.
I feel, I feel like we need to have like really somber music during that whole last part.
Oh yeah, I have to keep the somber music on deck because there's always something in like an
Always
episode
in
where
every
I'm like,
episode.
we should just run somber music the entire duration of every podcast.
My friend texted me and he said one of the bucket hands from episode 1 was something that was really, really popular. That's why I want us to start merchandising buckets for people.
Yeah, well, that may or may not have body fluids in them.
Which may or may, I feel like we're gonna make people pay extra for the body fluid bucket.
Yeah, there'll be like a price point for each body fluid because semen to me is probably the most expensive.
I was
Piss
actually
and shit come out of nowhere.
Piss-
I try not to puke, so actually, yeah, they just come out of nowhere.
piss and shit come out of nowhere.
I
Yeah,
mean, they come out of places.
this is why I don't like you in my home ever.
I try not to puke, so that actually might be the most expensive, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
That'll fill a bucket better. That's probably the body fluid that comes in like the most abundance when it's released from
Yeah.
my chamber.
I was telling someone today about the idea we had for the buckets, and they told someone else, they're like, yeah, he's going to make you pay for a puke bucket. I'm like, it's not a puke bucket. You can do whatever you want. It's a bucket.
Yeah, it's a bucket. There's
It's
just four main things that you do
There's
in
just
a bucket.
four main things that you do in a bucket, and if you do something else with the bucket, we're not legally responsible for what you do with
there's
the bucket.
nothing here.
Not at all.
Listen again to episode 1 because it's so good, and learn about bucket hands.
This is for people who
And keep giving
just
us
jumped in.
fucking 5-star ratings because you guys are cool. We have 2 right now, which again, this is recorded earlier, so we should have
I would like-
57 by the time this airs.
I would like to say thanks to everybody who has liked us on Facebook, talked about us
Yeah.
with their friends, rated us on iTunes, given us a listen.
Yeah, it seems like
Anything
we're
you guys are
getting
doing, thank you.
positive feedback somehow.
Which
this
is odd because we are
terrible.
garbage
Yeah,
people.
like
So
the
we are
things
literally
we
in
shouldn't be saying. these
we're
things.
literally in a basement just having a conversation,
Yeah.
talking shit, and people just think it's the
You
greatest
guys
thing in the
love
world.
it. Yeah,
So thank
shout out,
you.
shout out to the first review that was they would take this podcast home to meet their mother.
Paint and Wood was the name.
I think Payne Wood. Yeah, shout out
So-
to you.
Shout out to
Reveal yourself. Full government name, motherfucker. I love you.
you. Email us.
Dapper Dad's Podcast
Dapper
at
Dad's
gmail.com.
Let us know.
Reveal yourself.
Who is Dave Chappels? What does he want?
It's a man of mystery.
I would like to start every episode by asking that question. Make it like Atlas Shrugged.
So your sister works in a public place.
Right. And I was watching the front doors at this place, and this gentleman had come in, and he
Can we say it and I'll bleep it out just so I know?
yeah, okay, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead and
Yeah.
do that. She works at and so this guy you're a piece of shit. I fucking hate you. Anyway, so I was watching the front desk, and this guy was in there, and bleep this next part. He had talked to for like 45 minutes about crazy shit. He had talked about how he has a fiance in I think not Guam, it was somewhere, but they'd never met, but they were engaged, and he showed her all 2,800 text messages he had on the WhatsApp.
Oh, yeah, that's where I
Between
talked to my fiance too.
Ghana, she's from Ghana,
Ghana.
and
She has gotten
yeah, probably.
Also,
Um,
I don't know what part of that I'm bleeping out because that was like a whole thing. It's just the longest bleep. It's the longest yeah boy ever.
Yeah, boy. And so he's so he's talking about all the shit. He says he has a patent for cancer, but the government isn't going to let
like
it happen.
to give cancer.
No, to cure cancer.
Okay, you gotta be clear. I have a patent to give cancer. Me and Newport put little cigarettes in little hands. 2017.
Running it on Dwayne The Rock Johnson's platform for 2020. He had a patent to cure cancer, but the government was going to block it because it makes too much money off of cancer.
Yeah, well, that's why we don't have a cure. If we really want to get into conspiracy theories, I fucking got a bunch.
Man, they're gonna block us off on Apple if we start getting into conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
This is gonna have to be candid stuff.
I
we
was
talk about
gonna
after
say
the
a
show.
bunch of negative things, but I have nothing to say. Anyway,
check out our new podcast, Dapper Dads After Dark, for the real stories.
Oh god, that can get real dark.
After Dark is an NC-17 audience only. You have to send us a waiver saying that you can listen to it.
Yeah, we need 2 forms of ID.
We need
and then we're just going to
signatures.
show up at your house.
And we're just going to talk to you at like 2 in the morning and bum smokes off of you and ask for
that
food.
sounds like a fucking great thing. We'll get into that.
If-
Dapper Dads After Dark, we'll give away like 5 people, and we'll visit each of you like over the duration of like 2 months, and we'll just have a candid 2 a.m. conversation. I'll be very drunk.
I don't know what I'm going to do, but it's going to be fucked up.
Yeah.
It's going to be fucked up in your house.
We'll leave it at that.
What else did this guy say? He said his children are being held by the government, and they have electroshock therapy being used on them.
Yeah, this is a totally normal man.
And that's why he needs the fiance in Ghana, because he needs to make more children, because he's never getting his children back. And
yeah, because that's what you do. You don't fight to see them. You
just
can
make
replace
more.
These. It's like when you burn a pizza and you're like, I'll just buy another one.
And so,
you can just say it.
It's a bleep this next part. Texted me and told me to come upstairs to the desk and was like, this guy's fucking insane. I need to get away from him, please. And so I went upstairs, and this guy did not want to talk to me at all. Like,
it's weird.
It was so weird. Like, he obviously was just.
Is it because you had buckets on your hands?
And I'm like, hey, how's it going, buddy? Hey, just swung him around.
I got a bucket for your fiance in gonorrhea. And he's like, wow, I've been out crazy for the first time in my life. I knew it would happen one day.
The other bucket is for your fiance's gonorrhea.
Yeah. I got so many buckets.
We got buckets on buckets.
Buckets on buckets on buckets.
Grabbing for buckets on this. Quavo.
Yeah, that way. Mama, no one pays attention.
No one.
Sidebar, in every fucking popular Migos song, they reference a mother and then they go, Mama.
So I went up and sat with the guy, and he sat from where we're sitting right here. He was like across the room over there at a different table.
Yeah.
And he, every like 45 seconds, he would just go like, like that.
Because he was jerking off in his sweatpants.
He was wearing jeans. He was not wearing sweatpants.
Was he wearing sweatpants underneath the jeans? That's a sign of a fucking lunatic.
People who wear socks with their Birkenstocks and sweatpants under their jeans are absolutely. You know who else did that? Ed Gein. Ed Gein wore sweatpants.
Shout out Ed Gein.
Shout out Ed Gein.
How many bodies are in your basement?
He's dead. How are we gonna ask him on air?
I mean, we can dig up his body. Isn't it in Wisconsin?
It is the house.
Illinois.
It is in Wisconsin. The house was in Wisconsin, but it got tore down.
Yeah, because people wouldn't stop
Fucking going.
Coming
everywhere. Just coming on it. Like,
I know too much shit about.
I know way too much shit about. I was just a weird little kid who.
I was a weird adult.
And I'm also a weird adult. Let's not get it twisted. Like it's like I said in an earlier episode. To say I'm back on my bullshit would imply that I ever separated from it, which we all know isn't true.
Yeah, my bullshit is just serial killer knowledge. Let's not.
So this guy's sitting there and he's sighing every couple of minutes. And then at one point he starts talking to me about his cure for cancer thing. And I was like, oh, okay. And then there's like something there that he wanted to see that like only the employees could touch. And I told him he couldn't. He was like, well, why can't you do it? And I was like, because I don't want to. Because it looks complicated and hard.
Your penis.
It was not
only
my
the
penis.
Employees can do.
Only the employees can. And so he just kept going on and on. He disappeared into the bathroom for like 45 minutes, where he probably was under his sweatpants still. Yep. And I had texted and I had said, this guy just keeps sighing. I think it's because he's waiting for me to grow boobs so he can talk to me. And I heard her laugh from the basement.
That's where all my laughs come from.
Same.
This basement.
And so this guy came up to me, and I had like had enough of this guy, because what had made me really mad about it was if I wasn't there and the other people weren't there that day, my sister would have been alone with this guy. And like I just kept thinking about it. I'm like, why the fuck do people just let these creeps do whatever they want and just let them go wherever they want and do whatever they want? Nobody ever tries to stop them.
And I'll say, like, knowing now where it is a strange place for a person to be.
It's
a
a
public
super
place,
strange
but it's
place.
a weird place.
Like it's a place where people are allowed to go, but like it's a weird place to go and hang out.
But yeah, it's a weird place to bring
It's like
your cure for cancer.
It would be like it'd be like going to like the cafeteria at Schnucks and like hanging out and like being like, hey,
don't knock my Wednesday night.
I'm not knocking Wednesdays. I'm just saying it's like
got a nice slice of pizza, but it's always locals to me. Fuck Schnucks.
It's always gonna be Kroger to me. Fuck Schnucks.
Well, some are Kroger. This is topical.
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 My friend is gonna be like, yeah, it's a Rockford podcast because they're talking about Robin Zander and then they're talking about the difference between Kroger and Schnucks.
It's all locals to me. Highlander before Kroger also. I don't want to go down this road.
Always.
Shut up, Eagle. It's 20 minutes of us naming.
Shout out Hy-Vee.
Yeah, close down.
Roaster's Chicken.
Oh, goddamn.
And so I kept getting madder and madder. And so this guy comes up to me and he says he asks if we sell any books there. And I was like, if they're of significance to what we do, but we don't just like sell people's books that write them. He goes, yeah. Oh, well, it's a manuscript I have for a movie that's going to be put out next year and it takes place here. And so I thought you guys would be interested in selling copies of the manuscript. And at this point, I lost my goddamn mind because I was like, listen, buddy, you did not just come in here for 2 hours, sigh at me, tell me bullshit about your fiance iguana and your fucking kids getting electrocuted, just to come in here and plug your fucking manuscript with me. And I'm thinking all this internally, and like I'm like the anger emotion from Inside Out. And so I told him, I was like, listen, buddy, we only sell things that are of significance to what we do here. So unless like in 100 years your manuscript matters to anybody or anything you do matters to anybody, we're not gonna start caring about it. And he just kind of looked like confused, and he's like, well, it's a nice manuscript. And I was like, he goes, it's a nice manuscript. So many
people are like, I've got this garbage manuscript you should look over.
Well, he goes,
real poor writing. Half of it's.
He goes, well, it's a really good manuscript. And I said, I bet you have a really nice little manuscript. And he goes, what did you say? And I said, I bet you have a really nice little manuscript there. And he then promptly turned around, grabbed his stuff, and left. And I told my sister about all this. She goes, great, he's gonna come back and shoot me. Crazy people always have guns.
Yeah, that's
can we just touch on this? Like, I feel like
can we touch on that guy?
Can we just, as a society, agree that we should do something about like creeps? Like, I feel like people just always like sweep him under the rug and they're like, oh, that's just how he is.
Well, yeah,
like,
that man needs like assistance because he's like mentally unstable.
And I mean, like, I'm not trying to
That's the thing that sucks.
And like, I'm not trying to get into like politics or anything,
yeah,
but like it just really sucks that as a society we look at that, and like that's how I had to handle that situation, because like it was time to close, like we had to go and he wasn't going anywhere. And it's like, how come we don't, like, I just wish as a society we cared more about stuff we can't see, like mental illnesses, than like physical. Like, we have so many
people don't care.
People just don't give a shit enough. And like, I can't say I don't fall victim to that sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Like, I try to go out and be a good person, and like I try to, humble myself and just be good to everybody, but there's just some days where it's like, just go fuck yourself. Like, I shouldn't have to put up with all this crazy bullshit.
I don't need to hear your like insane rants.
Like, how many like insane people did we have when we worked where we worked together? Like, how many fucking crazy like just homeless people and just mentally unstable people in
between there. Where I grew up and where I've worked, like the tremendous amount of like mentally unstable or just people who are just fucking crazy for the sake of being crazy. That's why, like, when you touched on before about how I might have flipped out on that man who came up to the car, because my whole life has been people fucking coming up to my car and being like, I need money, or I need this very specific request, or like when like homeless people are like, hey, do you have any money? And I'd never have cash on me because
everything's
2017.
Plastic. Yeah.
And so then, like, you ever get people who are like, well, we can go to an ATM. And it's like, bro, do you know the intervals that money comes out of an ATM? Because it starts with 20, and I'm not giving you $20.
No.
Like, if I have a couple bucks in my pocket, I'll do it just to end the conversation. Like, here's $3 just because I don't want to hear about how you tried to go to this fucking cracked in motel attached to the bar, and then you got kicked out because of some reason, and you have a Bible on you to prove it, whatever that proves, and you need money.
This sounds so specific.
It's very specific to one time where a guy talked to me for like 10 minutes, and I was like, I don't have any money.
I felt so bad the other day because, see, the problem with it is that it's become such a bad problem just in society that it's like jaded how we are as people towards it. I was walking. I'd gone to Walmart the other day because I had to return a photo frame because I got the wrong size
I had
for
to
a poster.
return a photo of me naked.
I was like, "Who sold me this?
This is definitely against the policies and
Hey, buddy, I
procedures.
worked photo here. I know what you can print out, and this definitely isn't it. Micro dicks are not what you're supposed to be printing out." And it's, first of all, it took me 45 minutes to return this frame to not only try and find the
right.
not to only try and find the right size, but to then return it without a receipt was a fucking nightmare. And
Oh my god, I have a phenomenal story just to jump in real quick. Some of my friends are garbage people. When I say
Some?
a lot, they all are like a level of garbage, but then it like varies drastically.
Yeah.
And one of them, one time, I don't want this to make.
Oh, is this the bed sheet story?
Yeah.
Oh, I love
And I
this.
don't want this to reflect poorly on me, but a person I was friends with, we're not friends anymore. I think he was drunk. You'd have to be drunk
to do this.
Shit on his bed sheets. His girlfriend at the time had bought like a nice set of bed sheets from Walmart, and he shit on them.
The way I remember,
I think he said like he wiped his ass with them.
see, the first time you told me the story, he like got up to like use the bathroom or something. And
Yes,
he was
he
naked,
did.
and then he looked back, and
a naked scoot across the bed sheets.
and he looked back, and there was just shit
There
everywhere.
was shit. So instead of being like a normal person who I'd probably just buy new ones. I wouldn't wash them.
No.
So he folded them up real nice and put them back in the packaging and took them back to Walmart and
Returned them.
returned shitty sheets.
Did he exchange them or did he return them?
I didn't ask a lot of questions, as you can imagine.
No, I would need to know specifics if someone was telling me this story.
No, Walmart is the plug if you want to return things, because I also knew someone who bought a newer iPod and just put their old iPod in it and returned it, and the worker was just like, it's an iPod, so we got a free iPod.
I had they won't take back air mattresses that have been used. And
I love, it's like the Simpsons thing where Homer's like, see, because of me, they have a sign now. Because, like, if they had to be like, we can't return air mattresses anymore, like,
it's
people were
because
clearly like,
something happened.
I got to fuck right now, and I don't
Just
have a bed,
bought
so we're
one.
getting them. We're fucking, and you don't want to fuck on an air mattress.
No,
I've
it's
been
so
there.
it's so
You- that-
terrible.
You got to get that bitch inflated, because I've
like
fallen
overly
off.
inflated.
Yeah, like it's a very like it's like a water bed but with air. That's how I like to describe air mattress. It's like
You're like a fucking 17-year-old that's been huffing glue in art class.
God, I wish I was huffing glue. I love the smell of gas and spray paint.
I really love the
Isn't
smell of
gas
gas.
so good?
Gas smells.
I want to start huffing gas before we record these.
I'm okay. I don't think we need to huff gas. If you want to huff
Introducing a
gas, I'll
new
watch.
podcast minus Slim. If the intern that comes on things can huff gas with me, and we'll create like the gas huffers.
Man, I'm
And
not
it'll
about to
just
be. I am not about to be replaced by an intern. Go get some. Is there any gas in the garage? Go get it.
I got gas in my car, and I know how to siphon it.
Don't eat the mint first.
All right, I finished my beer. So what's number 2 gonna be?
Number 2, drink one of the coffee stouts.
All right,
Drink,
should we do? Oh, I like bean flicker because it's
Yeah, do the bean flicker.
bean
I'm curious
flicker.
about
Is
how
that
works.
is that a reference to clitoris stimulation?
Really fun fact. The that was beautiful.
I have high hopes for this one. Let's see. That's pretty good.
Our manager
That's a
when
nice finish.
our manager when we worked together, you know,
Rat hole.
no chomps.
Oh shit! See, I always forget like who was.
Because it was such
Like,
a weird
their
hierarchy.
yeah.
Yeah, because there was, believe all this out, there was,
Yeah.
and then
There was team members, then there was like supervisors, then there was like zone managers,
And
and
then
then there was
there's,
like real
there's, like,
managers.
5
We are
tiers.
both reaching so high to the sky because we did the same thing where it's like
it's like up
different
and up
levels.
and up and up.
I've had it
This
up
is why
to
we need
here.
a YouTube show so
Yeah.
people can see us. Just talking with our hands a lot.
Yeah. But yeah, there was a lot of weird. So like, yeah,
But
because when you were talking about it in like the first episode, and you were like manager, I thought of someone else. And I'm
Right,
like, oh
yeah,
'cause
but
there's
no.
so many fucking.
There's 6
managers.
fucking tiers you can go up, and
So
none
many-
of them fucking
Someone
matter.
told me when I worked there, they said there's too many hands in the pot, and it was weird the way they said it, but it was also wildly accurate.
I want to use that more in my daily life. Just look around. There's too many hands in the pot.
Hands in the pot.
But no, he told me, he was like, hey, you know, you just gotta love the ladies sometimes. Just gotta, flick the bean.
Ooh, God, that man.
Topical.
That man was something else.
The snow pants. Do you remember the snow
Yeah,
pants?
I very vividly remember the snow pants. It was, yeah, it's like
Hey guys.
it's like fucking. Is it Friday the 13th? Right? Is it Friday the 13th? Yeah, it'd be that, but it's snow pants, and you know your manager is coming to get you. Like a grown man, a very like grown man. Like, what can we ballpark an age? 35.
At least.
Snow pants.
Yeah.
And I pointed out one day, like, you're wearing snow pants, and he's like, yeah, it's cold out here. And he had a small dog. He had to
Chops.
be a single man because
He
he was
was.
a very interesting person.
Lived in his mom's garage.
Oh, of course.
Because that's
I
where the
didn't
that's where
even
the
know
chops.
that.
You didn't know that?
No,
Yeah, he lived in his mom's garage
who doesn't?
with Chops, the little dog.
Yeah, it was a little dog, and then you got the voice. So what was it with the chicken?
Because there was one. He's like, yeah, I call him Chops because he gets it. See? I go, hey, Chops, you want some chicken? He starts licking his chops.
Jesus Christ!
I
This
feel
makes us sound,
awful.
yeah, this makes us sound bad.
No, we're not bad. He was a great guy, and if I saw him today, I'd give him a big hug. But that's just how he talked.
Yeah, that's how he talked, and he was, yeah, just very, very strange.
God, there
And
was
the
some
snow pants.
story I wanted to go down before we got into this bullshit.
That's how it always works.
Man, I don't know. I'm gonna listen to this back later. I'm gonna be like, God damn it, I wanted to talk about that, but it's gonna be 2 weeks from now, and I'm
Yeah,
like, it's not topical.
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah, they'll just keep rolling on.
One of the things I did want to talk about is a good party story I had, because there was somebody I ran into recently who was very salty to see me.
Welcome to my life.
Welcome to my fucking life. You know the song Blase by Future, not Future, Ty Dolla $ign?
Yeah.
And it's got Ray Strummer down there,
Yeah.
and he says, I was hoping you were salty when you saw me.
I was hoping you were salty when you saw me.
That's like my favorite part of that song, with the pause there. And so I constantly hope people are salty when they do see me. And this
Yeah,
guy was
me too.
this guy was incredibly salty. But this guy's girlfriend also thinks I'm very, very attractive and doesn't try to hide it. And I was at a party one time.
Ooh, spicy.
I was at a party one time, and this person's girlfriend came up to me and was talking to me quite a bit. And I think they were trying to spite this person I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But they've like held it against me ever since, even though like I had nothing to do with it. Like I was just fucked up at the party, and I'm just like, hey, how's it going? And I actually think at the time I was laying down on the floor when this person came up and talked to me.
No.
I
I was trying to guess who it was.
Oh
We'll
yeah.
bleep
Oh
it.
yeah. Yeah. You. Yeah. Yeah. It is.
Perfect.
And so this person is always incredibly salty whenever
Circa
he sees me.
when was this?
This was circa a couple years ago.
Circa a couple of years.
I can't think of an exact
All right.
year. I mean,
I needed the date, but I mean whatever.
I need the full government date. I need to know
Yeah,
what you
the
were
full
doing.
government date.
No, I just what's incredible about this guy though is we were talking about this. I remember a couple of weeks ago before the podcast, and this guy apparently doesn't stack up with the ladies from what we've heard.
Oh yeah, like yeah, penis wise.
Micro penis.
Yeah, I don't want to touch on that too much in
This
both
show-
senses, but
I just want to talk shit about this guy because he's a fucking terrible person, and it's like this is fun because I can just broadcast it out on the air.
yeah, I, God, I don't want to give too much away, but I don't
give anything to it.
I don't hate him. I see him a lot more than you do. He's
That's-
not salty when he sees me.
Interesting. Well, his girlfriend doesn't love you.
Well, you know, it happens.
I
I'm
fucking
gonna-
love myself.
I'm gonna be an asshole. I'm gonna piss. All right, so I realize now that the more professional thing to do would have been to just piss my pants, probably.
More than like, I mean, I've pissed my pants 3
That was
times.
that was a good one. You know when you like really gotta piss.
I had
and
a
it's
really
like-
great. I take pills for my heart that make me piss, and I had a friend one time.
I know
tell
I
me-
have them for sale.
And I had a friend tell me one time. He was like, he was a medical student, and he was like, they say that like when you gotta like think about the worst you've ever had to piss in your life, when you finally release that piss, it's supposed to be like a third of an orgasm.
Yeah, I can fucking imagine.
And like I've had some pisses that have been like
a tenth of an orgasm.
I've had some pisses that have been like practically orgasms.
Yeah, I've had some pisses that are better than sex. I've had definitely because I've never had sex. But
Pissing's better.
Send an email if you want to have sex with me. DapperDadsPodcast@gmail.com.
Send us your opinion on if pissing is better than sex.
And yeah, so like, I thought I was gonna piss my pants. I should have pissed my pants. Have you pissed your pants as an adult?
I have never pissed my pants outside of being a child. I can't say as an adult grown man. I puked on myself.
Yeah. Well, if we want to get into puking,
I puked on myself. I've gotten other fluids on me, but I've never shit in my pants and I've never pissed my pants. I can honestly say it.
I've never shit in my pants that I can remember, but I have pissed in my pants, and I'll let this story loose. I was out here one time doing some like audio stuff, and for some reason it was like, I don't know, like 7 o'clock when I got out here. I drank a coffee. I stopped drinking coffee for the most part, besides like on the weekends, like I do with smoking and drinking.
I've been drinking so much coffee recently.
I used to forever since I was like 16. I think my sister bought me a coffee maker when I was like 16, so I would just stay up playing video games and drinking coffee like a fucking monster.
When I turned 18, I went out and bought a Mr. Coffee maker at Walmart for $9, and I would just read books and drink coffee all day.
Yeah, that's the entry level one.
Now I have a Keurig at home, and I don't even fucking use it. I fucking hate fuck Keurig. That's gonna be the first blast. Keurig. 43 minutes in, that's the first blast of the show.
Wow, we're falling off. We need to blast more corporations.
Fuck Chick-fil-A.
I fucking love Chick-fil-A. Except I don't agree with their. Actually, let me make that very clear. I don't agree with their
politics,
morals, and politics and everything.
But their food
I love
is phenomenal.
Gay people. Everyone can do whatever they want. They make a goddamn good chicken sandwich, and they're so fucking nice when you order it.
It's the original chicken sandwich. When I go to work,
but I hate that they're closed on Sundays, because I'm always like, you know what I want on this beautiful Sunday afternoon? A fucking spicy number 4, you fucking bitch. And I want you to be nice when I order it, because I'm gonna be like, give me a spicy number 4, you fucking bitch.
Did you see?
And they're gonna be like, is that all, sir? And I'm gonna be like, don't call me sir, bitch.
And they're gonna be like, well, it's my pleasure to serve you today. We'll have that hot and ready for you.
Yeah. So kind of fuck Chick-fil-A. Like,
did you see that
fucking stupid, but you make...
Did you see the Atlanta Falcons opened up a new stadium that has a Chick-fil-A, but it's still closed on Sundays?
No, I didn't.
That's fucked.
But yeah, I forgot. Oh yeah, so I was out here and I drank coffee during like the evening, which I never do. I'll drink it on the weekends now. I used to drink it like every single day, and I like cut back. But I drank it that night for some reason. I was feeling tired. So I had like a big ass water, coffee, everything. I'm like working on all this shit, and then I have to drive back home. And I'll still do this where like I've got to piss on the way home, and I'm stupid. I don't piss. It's like a 40-minute drive for me to go home from where we're currently at. So like I constantly don't piss, and now I take the back roads more often. So occasionally I'll have to like just pull over and pop piss on the back roads.
Do what you got to do.
And I was on the highway this time, and there's like bucking. I passed everything before I realized, and it was one of those ones where you're like shaking around and you're like, holy shit. Uncomfortable. So I got off the highway. I was so close to my house, but I was like, I'm not gonna make it. So I pulled into this motel parking lot that's right off the highway. I jump out to try to piss, like car still on, door open, and I pissed my pants a little bit. I was so close, and I was so pissed. It was like one of those things where like sitting down it was better, and once I stood up it was just a flood, and I fucking pissed my
I'm gonna
pants.
tell this really funny story, but bleep out who it's about.
I won't.
So my
full government name,
interesting character to say the least, and he told me he specifically keeps a bottle in his car to piss in if he is ever in a situation where he can't pee somewhere. And he told me one time he takes medicine for his blood pressure because he's diabetic, and he told me he was in a Kmart and he had to piss really bad, but for some reason like the bathroom was like shut down or something.
Yeah, it's fucking Kmart.
Fuck Kmart.
They should be open.
I hate Kmart.
And
it's
then
the
you
worst.
get the fucking receipts, and they're like novels, and it's like, this is why you guys are fucking struggling,
because you're wasting so much money on paper.
Far too long, like obnoxiously long. Like, what are you telling me on these receipts? I don't even want the receipt. No, I don't need an alibi.
I don't need an alibi. I just came in here to buy a pair of Vice Grips and 2 cans of Pringles. When am I going to return this shit?
Yeah.
I'm just here because I'm driving down to Stillman and I need to pick this shit up.
Topical.
Topical. That's going to be what our first shirt says. Just going to say topical with the mouths on it. But he told me that he ran out to his car in the Kmart parking lot, and it was raining, so he was soaked in rain. And then he got into the car, and as he's trying to piss, he dropped the piss bottle. And so piss got everywhere, and he pissed on his pants, but didn't piss in his pants. There's a big difference.
Such a thin line.
Such a thing. Because, okay, here's the thin line. If your dick is in your pants, you're pissing your pants. If it's outside of your pants, you're pissing on your pants. Agreed?
I guess so. Yeah, it's good to draw lines. We're changing the world.
I mean, it's good to have these parameters set up at least.
The cool kids didn't believe when I said that the robber broke in and wet my bed.
Yeah, I didn't believe that someone else came down here and wet the chair you're sitting in before I got here.
Hey, man. It's neither here nor there. What I, like, all right, the piss jug in the car, I don't know if I fully understand. I've peed in, like, 2 cups in cars in my entire life. I always have a weird situation. Like, are we pulling, like, dick through zipper and then aiming it into the cup?
That's
I feel
such
like
a hard
do it
angle,
sitting
though.
down.
No, you can't do it sitting down.
So I'm always like, what? I like.
You can't.
I need to
aim
watch
up and
it, but I
sit
don't want to watch it. But yeah, and now like a lot of the like bottoms that I wear don't have zippers anymore, like joggers and like these shorts.
I'm wearing joggers right now. They have no zipper.
No
and
zipper.
I bought a pair of boxer briefs at Box Lunch. They're Rick and Morty ones. No opening in the front. They're the comfiest underwear I've ever had.
How do you have sex?
I have to take my goddamn underwear off like a caveman.
What the fuck? I only
feel
slip
terrible.
it through the slit.
I like to wear
Lights off, silence, slip it through the slit. 1 minute.
Can I just say,
like a nice formal.
One of my favorite Dave. Can we let's talk about our favorite Dave Chappelle
Oh,
sketches?
we don't have the time. Sweetheart.
Our top sketch. One of my favorite sketches is the interracial wife swap.
Yeah, I knew exactly. That's what I was thinking.
Because
of
he's can I stick it through the front of my pajama bottoms?
Yeah. That's.
I feel like that's where you got that psychosis from. Was loving Dave Chappelle.
Every time I think about slipping a dick through a slit, which I do all the time, it's that fucking sketch.
How come at the end of the last 2 episodes we've just been talking about dicks? Can we talk about something that?
But if someone wants to send an email about how you piss in a cup, because I
would like to know how different people piss in cars.
Yeah, because now
how do you piss in a car?
Yeah, I mean I've pissed in a car.
I've pissed
but
in
I've
cars.
stood outside of it.
Yeah,
into it.
I think one of the worst things I remember in my Jeep, I like had to go really bad. I was like in just some parking lot. There was like nobody there, and I like leaned back and like stuck my leg over the seat and like was at this weird angle that you see in like Olympian paintings where they're like throwing the discus, and I'm just like holding a Dasani bottle up to my crotch.
See, if that's the case, I constantly piss in streets and parking lots. I just open the trunk and I just piss like I'm doing something.
One of my best friend's favorite memories with me is getting really, really drunk with me at the townhouse I was living in, and then he left, and it was snowing outside, and it was over on Crosby Street, that area over there.
That's where I grew up.
And
6th Street
in Crosby. But he said he went out and he went to go get in his car and there was nobody around, so he just pissed in the middle of the road. He said it was the most serene, peaceful moment because it was quiet because of the snow. And there was no people, nobody outside yelling. Everything's closed. You can't hear it.
It's beautiful.
It's
you just
beautiful.
Hear your own piss.
I just want to throw that out there. I think that our town, middle of winter,
it's great.
It's no. I think there's something really beautiful about. I love being downtown in the winter, like not necessarily like walking around outside, but just like it just feels like very
I love
homey
being
to
downtown
me.
in general.
It's a good place to be. I all of our best memories have come from downtown.
That's true. But I piss outside like at least twice a week. I'd say at this point.
Like 3?
3, I think.
3. Okay, we're at 3. How's that bean flicker treating you?
It's good. It's definitely better than the Raven.
I had a girl make a joke with me.
I had a girl who flicked her bean.
I had a girl make, like, when she was trying to talk intimately with me, asked me to flick her bean, and I had to stop because it made me think of that Seinfeld episode where they talk about it, and I can't have sex when I'm thinking about Jerry Seinfeld.
I just can't, I can't do the dirty talk. Like,
no.
what are...
No. I'm not a very vocal
Everybody
person.
says weird shit, and you're like, what the fuck? Like, yeah, I'm not vocal.
No,
like,
at all.
Especially, when I'm having sex, like, you want to hear a dude moan?
No.
I don't want to hear a dude
I don't
moan.
want...
I hate the sound of my own voice.
See, I like hearing females.
Yeah, moan, yeah.
Because that's what I like. I don't want to, like, they're like, what, and I understand that, like, they like that, but, like...
But do they really?
Do they
you
really?
want to hear me?
You really want to... You want to hear
All
me?
right, give me some silence. Because that's
Versace.
Versace, Mama, and then she's like, "Whoo!" Like, yeah, I've never been into like the dirty talk. It just leads into like a weird place. People say weird things. It's the heat of the moment.
They say things they don't mean. They say the same thing over and over.
They're like, I love you and you're a good person. I'm like, this is all lies. You know, both of those things aren't true.
I want to build a future with you. You're such a good man. It's like,
yeah. And I'm like, I don't want to talk about building the future. I just want to listen to future. I'm about to fuck this cash up on a new toy. I love that fucking line because it sounds like he says, I'm about to fuck this cash up on a new toilet.
I'm about to fuck this cash up on a new toy.
And I just picture him being very eccentric, like, I got the newest.
Like that move you were doing before the show, but like on a solid gold toilet.
He's just shitting and like turning up.
Flexing on a gold toilet.
Yeah. I love.
If anybody deserves it, it's Future.
Isn't that also the song where it's like, I ain't got no manners for no
sluts. I'm going to put my thumb in her butt.
I ain't got no manners for no sluts. I'ma put my thumb in her butt.
Oh my God, I love that line.
Such a good song. Me and one of my best friends, we just hang out and we'll just scream like,
put thumbs in butts.
No, we're literally
just hang out and put thumbs in
We're
butts.
literally like, what did you say you want my thumb in your butt? Is that what you're saying?
I made a meme that no one paid attention to where it was the Rap Genius lyrics. Instead of thumb in the butt, I like blocked it out and put different words over it. So it said, I'm gonna put my love in your heart.
Aw,
I thought it was
that's so
very
wholesome.
fun. Yeah,
Can you send that to me?
No one liked it, but it's out there.
Share it to the page. Put it on the page.
Yeah, I'm gonna put my love in her heart.
I'm gonna put my love. That's the radio edit for Kids Bop.
Yeah. I heard that. I was listening to like an interview with DJ Esco, the coolest DJ in the world.
DJ Esco.
And he was like, we were going to make that line extra tough and like just cut the beat. So it's just Future.
Just Future. I'm going to put my thumb in her butt. God, where can I get that edit from?
I know. I need the acapella.
I need the acapella just so I can have that as my ringtone that wake me up in the morning.
I love also that fuck is the fucking like popular swimming dude.
Michael Phelps?
Yeah, Michael Phelps, like he said that he loves listening to Future to
before
get him hyped up.
Like, and that makes me so happy.
There's that picture of him and his face is all like scrunched up.
I like to think he was.
And I was like, he's listening to the line where Future talks about putting a thumb in a butt. Like, that's the only face you make to that shit.
Disagree. I think he was listening to Where He At when he was making that face, because I always make that face. I actually have a.
Because you're trying to decipher it. There's like. People are like. Future mumbles. That's like the big thing now. Is everybody mumbles, and
Future kind of sounds like Sylvester Stallone, if we can be really honest.
Now you ruined it for me.
Wait, we'll go in the bathroom.
Where else was that when I was punching me?
Where else was that when I was?
But I don't think he mumbles that much. I feel that way about Young Thug and a lot of these rappers. Like, I can usually understand them. There's some Future songs. I was listening to one on the way here. Is it? It's off of Khaled's last album, not the newest one.
I Got the Keys, or the other one he did?
No, it's one of the other ones. Rick Ross is on it, and Rick Ross's rhyme scheme.
I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah. But at the beginning, it's just Future, and he's like, I have no idea what he's saying, but it gets me so hyped.
I don't want it all to know what it wasn't gonna give it to me to watch it.
That's all Future is.
That one with Drake, like the most recent one, I think.
Not off the What a Time to Be Alive.
No.
The one where they were playing soccer in the video?
Yeah, I think, what was that?
Let me look this up. Keep talking about Future.
But he has a line before his verse. We'll splice it in here because it's so good, where I'm just like, used to this, right? I don't got no money, I'm used to this. Yes,
it is used to this. Yeah.
And at the beginning of his verse, he just goes, I'm so used to this.
I got used to this.
And I'm like, what in the fuck was that? Like, there's occasionally, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I don't know what that was. But overall, I think you can, like, understand him a lot.
Yeah.
There's also a fantastic Young Thug song that I feel like no one listens to. It's called Movin'. It's off of Black Portland.
I'm going to add that to my playlist.
With someone else. It's like a whole mixtape, him and someone else, and his verse progressively just turns into nonsense. We'll splice it in here too.
I got hope from January all the way December wanna please me. Had you ever resting now you staking for your resting now she melted really shaking for they Asian donkey pitching niggas on they want it. Time
BJ, we got this bitch moving.
I was actually
so
watching.
beautiful.
There's a video out there on Facebook that I watched. I'll send it to you if I can find it. I think it was from Genius. They were talking about how they had a linguist listen to Young Thug, and really, if you don't listen to Young Thug, you really should start. Even if you're not really a rap fan, just to really understand where we're currently at with music and just generation wise and stuff like that. I think Young Thug is one of these artists who really encapsulates it well, because I remember one time you and I were having a conversation about music, and we were talking about how no one has the attention span anymore to really like focus on a whole project. And I think with that comes artists constantly trying to change their styles. That doesn't always translate very well. But I think with every Young Thug project that I've ever listened to, it's weird, it's different, but it's something that I notice where he'll put out something and then like a month or so later other people are kind of doing that style. My dad always said that the Beatles were like that with the Rolling Stones. Like the Beatles would put something out, then 6 months later the Rolling Stones would put out something that sounded kind of sort of like it, you know.
And the Beatles were trash.
And they were trash. And I'm not going to sit here and compare Young Thug to the Beatles, but I think if we're going to talk about like culturally significant artists who helped shape
It's been
sounds,
very diverse. Like if you like, I love, my favorite shit is like 1017 Thug and I Came From Nothing Too. Are like two of my favorite mixtapes, and I like the other shit he's done.
Slime Season 3 will always have a very special place in my heart. I love Slime
I like
Season
that
3.
one. I like everything. Barter 6 was great. Like I'm Up was decent.
I
Like,
still
there's a lot of good
rock
shit.
Best Friend all the time.
Yeah, that's a good one. Fucking Rich Gang was the best shit.
Oh God,
God.
Rich Gang 2, the one they just put out.
Yeah.
Though, it's just Birdman and Young Thug, and like
there's technically Rich Gang 2 that was called like The Leaks.
yeah, the leaks
That's
were
fucking
good.
great
That
because it
stuff was
has
good.
fuck is the song I'm thinking of. Ain't Trippin' by Young Thug and Rich Homie Quan.
Mhm.
One of the best songs ever.
I love
Fucking
Rich Homie
that
Quan.
song. Yeah, and then he disappeared. Like they should have kept fucking. God damn it.
Birdman's just such a terrible human being, though. Like I understand.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh God, I love music. I love music so much.
Yeah, we all do. You ever meet anyone that like just doesn't listen to music?
Let me tell you a fun story. My girlfriend's ex-boyfriend explicitly said so many times he hates music. The only person he would ever listen to,
like, we should lock them up. That's not a stable
he's
person.
The only person that he would listen to apparently was Eminem. Yeah, if that helps. Eminem and classical music. That was the only thing he ever listened to. He said he didn't.
That person is a sociopath.
He said he
that
felt,
is a serial killer.
They would take road trips sometimes that were like 9-hour road trips in complete silence, and if they weren't complete silence, it was podcasts.
If I'm in a car in complete silence, I will murder.
I go insane. I have to have if I'm in someone else's car, I want to play my music, but I'll
I'm
begrudgingly
the person
let
who
them
will take over everyone's
no,
music.
I will begrudgingly let people play music in their own car because I'm not about to be that guy. But like, if it's my
will be that guy.
if I'm driving your car, it's my music, and if we're driving my car, it's absolutely my music.
Yeah.
And we will
I
listen
will
to one
take
song
over,
5 times in a row if we have to.
Pretty much
if I
everyone
want to.
I roll around with is like, I know when he gets in, he's gonna fucking put. I carry an MP3 player around with me because I hate listening to music off my phone.
See, I disagree. Apple Music has really opened up a
I
world of possibilities.
like
for me.
it, but especially if I'm driving and I'm fucking around on my phone, I'm gonna run over a child, and also it kills my phone. I'm constantly like out doing things.
See, it kills
to
my
where
phone,
I'm like,
but like I
can't.
don't care.
I have
It's
like
so convenient.
I have days where I'm like, I'm about to drink for 12 hours. I'm gonna need this phone.
Speaking of drinking, drink some more of that beer.
Yeah, I'm working on it. I think I'm just pussyfooting around. But yeah, one of my exes, like after we got together, was like, I've never purchased a CD.
How?
Yeah, and this was a long time ago, so like it was before streaming or anything. And she was like, I like songs, and she'd like some of the songs I listened to, but she had never purchased a piece of music, and she had never been to a concert.
What was the first CD you ever bought?
I was buying tapes when I was a child. I specifically remember being like 5 or 6 and getting Kiss tapes because I grew up in a very specific household of like 80s hair metal and like that type of shit, like Kiss, Motley Crue, Guns N' Roses, Poison, like Rat, that type of shit. I went to so many of those concerts as a kid, so my entire life has been like around music, like so
Same.
much. So yeah, I had tapes when I was a child. The first CD I bought, I don't even know. I remember the first CD I burned when that became technology.
Which was what?
Ludicrous, Word of Mouth.
Love it.
I was 11.
The
It took 2 hours to burn. You remember
Oh god.
that?
Windows Media Player?
Yeah.
Oh,
and
fuck
that
shit.
and it would fuck up halfway through,
time.
and it would just so yeah, I burned that for 2 hours. I still have that copy of it. It's
Beautiful.
such a fucking
frame it.
I know it's
Hang
like
it up in
such
your
a
house.
it's such an old man thing now because people are like burning the CD. Like my fucking computer that we're running this off of doesn't even have a disk drive anymore.
No, all the laptops I sell at work, they don't have disk drives anymore, and it drives people crazy because they want disk drives.
Yeah, because like I have so many CDs, and I mean you can get everything. That's why Apple Music and Spotify are great.
Because
I just hate
it's all
fucking around on my phone.
I know. It's
And I
just
never
so
make the
convenient.
time to like make a playlist. Like I carry around an MP3 player. It has
See, I
like
disagree, man.
4,000 songs.
I've got so many playlists on
And there's
there.
so much shit. I listen to too much shit that's not on like an official Spotify or Apple
that makes
Music.
sense.
It's maybe on SoundCloud. Some shit's not even on anything.
See,
not
what-
even like YouTube. So I can't. The only way I can collect all of my music, like I like to
Is
hear
put
it,
it on
is
the
put it
iPod.
on that MP3 player.
See, the problem is I have one of the old iPods, the old 160 gig classics, you know?
Yeah.
And I have a very specific playlist I want on there, but there's a huge part of me that wants me to just erase everything and just set it up in a specific way so it's all there. Because one of the things I do, which is a pain in the ass, is you can rip music format off the internet and then you can add it to your Apple library, but you have to add it to your iCloud.
See, this is
And
what
that
I
takes
fucking
forever.
hate.
It's fucking terrible.
That's what I mean. Like, if there was an easier way to just like seamlessly put all the things, that's why like Google Play when it initially came out, I was super pumped on it because you can just upload your whole like library, and then you also have like the streaming service. But it's so clunky and stupid, and like that was fucking like 6 years ago when
Yeah,
it
and it's-
debuted, and it was good, and now it's not
It's
so
just
much.
garbage.
And it doesn't like. I don't know. I like a real clean layout. That's why I love Apple Music because it's very crisp and
Super
everything's
crisp.
good. The other problem is like there's so many like if you look up Chief Keef on Apple Music, there's so
Not
many
everything is on
albums
there.
and there's so many albums that are like unofficial and it's just someone like
Well,
some
that's-
fucking shit.
that's the
Or
way it
every
is.
song he releases is a single, so his albums are like 100 albums.
Right.
But he's only got like one album. If we're counting mixtapes, there's a ton, but still it's just
See-
such a clusterfuck.
See, I'm so torn between the two because I've had issues where I've had such a hard time tracking down certain artists that I like. Because I'm into, you know me, I'm into some weird,
Yeah, and that's
weird music.
exactly how I feel. Like there's
And-
shit that I can't find.
Well, it's like it's so weird because some stuff I've been able where I can specifically remember certain artists where I have taken hours of my time to try to get like songs and albums off the internet. I've gone to like weird Russian websites to like, get music from and stuff.
I've done the most
Oh yeah, I've
to find like an old J Hood freestyle.
Oh my god, yeah, just a rip of it off YouTube somewhere, like a rip of a live show somewhere.
Because we're from like LimeWire era,
oh
where
man,
you would get things that I don't think existed
Oh,
other
no.
places besides that. Like there's things that I have a hard drive that goes like a decade back at this point,
Mhm.
and there's certain things that I've lost. And there's like songs that just don't exist. Like
No,
there's
there's-
nowhere else that
That's
they come
what's
from.
so scary to me about digital music though, because it's like there's so much and it can get so lost in just all the stuff that's out there. Because it's like I can agree with there's like computer towers that my mom has in her basement of stuff that I rip off of like LimeWire and like
Yeah.
SoundCloud when it first
Yeah.
came out, like Bandcamp and like all this
Yeah.
stuff where it was like
There's
these
so
small
much shit.
Well, because I remember back when I was younger, I would go to a lot of local shows and I would also try to support like just unique talents that would come around.
same.
Like there was it was kind of an older music venue in Rockford called Charlotte's Web, and the actual venue shut down, but they still worked as like a production company, and they would bring talent through town and have them play at like coffee shops or like music halls and stuff like that. And it was like acoustic music and like folk music and stuff like that, but I was really into that for a time, just like
Yeah.
playing acoustic guitar and singing along with it and stuff. And so I would see some really unique talents come around, but they would only be like selling their CDs at their shows. And like,
Yeah.
it's one of these things where like, I know my first girlfriend took so many of these CDs that I got at these shows.
Yeah.
And it's like, I can hear the songs in my head,
Yeah.
but
And you
I have
no
no way.
idea.
And it drives me
There's-
insane.
There's one song that you know how like on LimeWire you would download a song by an artist and it would be fake and it's just someone like
Oh, my sister!
to-
My sister tells me all the time she can still go through old LimeWire files that she has and still find the ones of Bill Clinton going, "Oh, did not have sexual
I know
relations
that's
with
such
that
a
woman."
fucking
I got so
outdated
pissed
topic.
because my favorite band as a child was Slipknot, and I remember in 2008 when All Hope Is Gone was supposed to come out, they put out All Hope Is Gone, and then Psychosocial was going to be the single, and somebody uploaded a clip of the first 15 seconds of the song where he goes like. And then it went into a Rick roll And so you thought like
Yeah.
someone expertly crafted this bullshit. Like it's
Yep.
stupid because like that was just mid 2000s internet culture. But like
Yeah.
I'm more mad someone went
Such
through
a
the.
specific era.
I'm more mad someone went through the trouble to put the actual beginning of the
Yeah.
song on because this asshole clearly had the song
Yeah.
and he just cut it and rickrolled it.
That's what I have. I have one in my head. I don't remember any of the lyrics, and it's to the point where I'll never find it. It was someone who uploaded like their personal rap song
Yeah.
under the guise of like a popular song. So I downloaded it and I was like, well, this isn't it. But it was like
But
a
it's
very
really good.
good song, and it was like about his life. And I've come to terms like I'll never find it. I don't remember a word from it. I like know the rhythm in my head, and I know that I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I know it's on a CD somewhere in some house that I
Yeah.
used to live in. And it's like that's gone forever. And like I hate people that do that, like trick you. Like nowadays, if I come across that, if you trick me with a song, I'll never fucking
I
listen
will
to
never
your music,
trust you.
and I will do anything to make sure you don't succeed.
I will make
musically.
anything to make sure that people hate you and hate the products that you put out.
Yeah, but that one was the only good one, and it's like gone forever.
There's
There's something with like mixtapes now where they're saying like the early 2000s we're losing those, and there's a website dedicated to like cataloging them
and
and making
keeping
them
them.
still like be like listenable.
Shout out to whoever's doing that.
Yeah,
that's,
'cause
that's
they
a
said,
beautiful
like,
thing that they're doing.
It's something like every 10 years we lose like a huge chunk of music that's just uploaded to the internet. And
And
you
see,
remember
that-
like mid 2000s mixtape era was fucking insane.
It was so
and like
every
there's
day.
such a huge catalog of thousands, and they're like that's only like 8% of what
See,
actually
what-
was produced.
What
back
breaks
then.
my heart about that is that you have all this music that was produced that we just can't find or has been lost, you know? But you can go to a fucking Salvation Army and catch like the album your grandpa had to pay
Yeah.
to have cut with the artwork,
I
like someone at
fucking
the studio
know
design.
because I fucking buy records, like actual records all the
and
time.
I have a very I won't say I inherited, but when my grandpa passed away, one of the things I got to keep that was his was I got to go through his record collection and pick out what I wanted. And it's not necessarily a lot of stuff that I would listen to. He was
Yeah.
really into like older style country.
yeah,
There's some
the
there
sentimental
were some
side.
real gems in there though. There's an original copy of Pet Sounds by the Beach
Oh,
Boys,
yeah, that's a
like
hot
the
one.
original
Yeah.
180 gram vinyl, and it sounds so shitty when you listen to it. I've got the original vinyl for what was the Fleetwood Mac album that was super popular?
Yeah, I can picture the cover.
You can see the
but
cover where he's
yeah.
standing there.
Yeah,
It's an original pressing of that has like all the
Yeah.
inserts and stuff, and it's like it's not necessarily what I would listen to, but having that record
Yeah.
collection there, it's something that's physically tangible. And some of these are albums I grabbed just because I was like, this looks kind of cool, but it's nobody I've
Yeah.
ever heard of, and like it just seems so strange that we're in an age where we focus so much on storage and remembering ourselves and putting our
Yeah.
permanent mark on the internet, but we can't keep track of all the entertainment
Yeah.
that's being put out there. There's so much slipping through the cracks.
and we've also lost that element of like purchasing or borrowing something because it looks cool. That was my favorite thing. Like I used to be
Mhm.
like very big into Atmosphere. I still like them a lot, but
and their
past,
album artwork is what sucked you in.
yeah, their past couple projects have been like,
Yeah,
whatever.
it
They get-
happens.
And yeah, and I don't care. Like I got what I needed from them, and I still listen to them a lot. But like I remember hearing Seven's Travels from my sister, a burnt copy. I remember getting my first paycheck from Chuck E. Cheese, going to
That's
Best
right, you
Buy,
did work the check.
and just buying like 3 of their albums just off of that one album and
Mhm.
what ones looked cool, and then falling in love with it. And we've lost that so much. The last thing that like last year I think it was, there's a band called Pup that's fucking phenomenal. They're like kind of like a poppy punk band.
I actually got into them because of you, because you put their album on
They're
Facebook.
so- yeah, they're so good. The only reason Genius.com did like a list of 50 best albums of the year last year after everything had wrapped up, and the cover of the album is a person looking at a newspaper sitting on a couch in the woods, and the couch is on fire. I had no knowledge of them. That cover was so sick that
It's
I like
so good.
just, and it is cool because you can instantly listen to it now,
Mm-hmm.
so that is the benefit. And that was like the first time in years where I've been like off of an album cover. I looked into it and I fucking love that album. It's
Mhm.
phenomenal. It's called fucking goddamn it, I'm gonna do this. Pup.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, it's goddamn it. I bought the vinyl. I got like the blood splattered vinyl. It's like a fucking fantastic album, and that was the last time where I've been like, this cover fucking did it for me.
While we're on the topic of it, I've always had this kind of odd feeling in my life where I really enjoy a whole album as a project if the album art matches how the songs feel to me.
Yeah.
I just looked it up. The Pup album is called The Dream Is Over.
Yes,
It was released
The
in
Dream Is
2016.
Over. Last year, one of the best albums of last year. If you like that type of music, check it out. Even if you don't, like, I obviously favor rap a lot now, but I grew up as like a punk kid, and it's definitely like more poppy and fun. It's fucking front to back, like, incredible.
If we're throwing out Pup, a band I think that you could piggyback off of if you're into that sound is a band called Jank. If you've ever heard of them, they're a three-piece pop punk trio, and they put out an album called Versace Summer. And Versace Summer is one of those like driving around with the windows down, middle of the summer, just hanging out, having fun songs, you know? Yeah. Definitely recommend checking them out. They're very, very, very good.
Yeah, I love Pup. Shout out to them.
One of my favorite artists who really correlated with their artwork for me in a very good visual way was Norma Jean, if you've ever heard of them. And I actually got introduced to them because someone played me one of their songs, and I've always had a taste for real aggressive music, regardless of the style. As long as it's aggressive, I really enjoy it. And their album artwork, it looked like something out of a horror movie where it had like that greenish brown. Oh God, not Oh God, the Aftermath. Bless the Martyr, Kiss the Child. You know what I'm talking about? Where it had that weird kid on the front.
I think I like can picture the album. I never listened to them, but I'm like very aware of them.
I'll pull up a picture for you. But then it had like this very like creepy like Southern nostalgia vibe to the artwork. And then their second album that they came out with, the artwork was the song titles. I forget what the word is for it, but it's where it's two words combined together. So like one of the song titles was Characterantula, and like another one was Absentimental. And so the artwork was people combined with organic things like animals and plants and stuff like that. So there was a guy whose like leg and arm were like a tree trunk that was growing together, and it was him. And then there was like a girl who was like peeling skin off of her back, and there was snake scales underneath. And I think that element is really missing in music nowadays, because for guys like you and me in our age group, we would go to like Best Buy, Media Play, and see these really
fucking Media Play.
I miss you
more than any
when I die and go to
establishment.
When I die and go to heaven, I'm gonna wake up in a Media Play.
I pray to the God I don't believe in that's true. Media Play was the best thing ever. Rockford had the first Media Play. Look it up on Wikipedia.
It's a fact. And and my grandma loved
so
it.
Fucking good. God.
I would spend hours and
that's
hours
what I mean. And also you would like buy the project. Yeah.
See, like, look at that. That was an album I saw as like a 13-year-old kid.
That's what I mean. I like very weird like artwork. Like look up the Pup artwork. Not you, but listeners, look up the Pup artwork. And I was like, this is fucking like, I need to hear what that sounds like.
Right.
Artwork is, because nowadays it's so either like minimalist or just like a picture of like a rapper, or you know what I mean. There's not so much thought put into it. I feel like that's the last thing, is just like cover art, and no one gives a shit. But I remember flipping through, that looks sick too.
I love that shit. I'm just
what I mean. And also like
Norma Jean artwork now, because like it's if you get this was the vinyl packaging for it. It was like this big spin around thing, and the booklet was like that too, where it had the lyrics printed, and it had just this. That was the most fucked up.
That's why I still buy records, because
of the artwork.
Yeah, and just like I used to get a CD, like get a Kanye CD, open it up, feel it, read all the liner notes, find out the samples, find out who produced it, find out this and that, read along with the lyrics. And it was such an intimate process, and it made you care about the music more, and it wasn't so like fucking overwhelming where today like 18 albums come out, so you can't really fucking, you know what I mean.
Honest God, this is what I did today. I stay up past midnight every night. Every Thursday night I download all the new music that comes out at midnight, and then I've been lucky enough to have like Fridays off the last couple of weeks, and so I've just been driving around doing errands and listening to all this new music that's coming out. But it's almost overwhelming, because I think about like
very overwhelming.
I think about last week when I was here, and what I was listening to is so completely different.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously
you don't have time to digest things anymore.
I mean, and when you do, you really have to dedicate yourself to it.
There's so many albums, like especially recently, where like too many people, it's such a culture now with especially with like the reviews, like first listen reviews. This is how I feel, because like you always hit me up like, did you hear this, did you hear this?
Right.
First listen, I'll either be like, I fucking love it, and then in a week I'm not listening to it, or like I don't really. There was something recently, I can't remember what it was, but I listened to the project and I was like, I don't really care for it, and for some reason I went back to it, and then I was like, this is really good, and then I kept going back to it, and I'm like, now I fucking love it. But if you do a first listen review, or just give it like that, because there's so much music, you're like, oh, whatever, and it fucking takes away so much from it. Like, I used to sit down, buy the record, or buy the like CD, open it up, look through the fucking booklet, fucking put it on when they had like the labels would put in like the little insert, and it'd be like other releases coming this
Oh, that
fall
was so
from
cool.
whatever, and you'd be like, damn, that looks sick. I don't know
Mhm.
who that is, but I'm gonna make an effort to at least like torrent that song, and,
Right,
like,
just so you can check it.
eventually get into that person.
And
Like, that was the best thing with me, like when I really got into rap, because I didn't listen to rap as a kid. I listened to fucking hair metal and shit like that,
Yeah.
like I said. And when I finally got into rap, there was such a like back catalog to just get fucking enamored with. Like
Mhm.
there's so much shit to go back and be like, oh, I like Atmosphere, so now I'm gonna check
Right.
out Murs, and now I'm gonna check out Aesop Rock, and like Rhyme Sayers Everything, and like
Mhm.
all this shit, and then you just think there's like this whole nother world.
Right.
I so
yeah.
much miss that. Like I had that era when I was like 16 to 18,
And you
of
just had all
like,
this time.
and
to
I
do
was
that,
such
you
a
know?
fucking backpacker piece of shit. Like,
Yup.
oh, I only listen to fucking references I don't even remember anymore, and
Yeah.
fuck like mainstream shit. I'm glad I got away from that, but like just being able to like go back and like get lost in the
Mhm.
whole catalog of someone. You find someone like Atmosphere who had, when I listened to him, probably like 7 projects, give or take. Like that's so much to get lost into. And I
Right,
think that's
yeah.
why they'll forever be like one of my favorite groups,
Mhm.
because I had that whole era. And I remember specific summers with people who I don't even talk to, and driving around with this person and playing like the fucking
And it-
Godfather PS2
Oh,
game
God.
while listening to God Loves Ugly and
Good
getting
shit.
lost in that. And like it's just gone forever now, and we just sound like bitter old
Well, I think it's interesting to think about, because people will ask me and they'll be like, you know, what are some of your favorite albums? What is your favorite? Because I teach guitar, I play guitar. You know, I'm a really musical person. I think that's what got us off on a friendship so well.
Yeah.
We're both so musical, and people will be surprised by the answers I give them for my favorite albums, because if you hang out with me, I'll listen to a lot of rap, a lot
Yeah.
of trap. I've become enamored with trap music. I
Yeah.
love trap stuff, just
Of
because.
course.
Well, like I've always been a sucker for
Can
a
we
good
pick
groove.
I'm off my beer. Can we pick a next one?
Go ahead and try that dinosaur beer. That's what I want to see you try next.
Or this one?
The Tooth and Claw, the
Field Museum. Shout out to the Field Museum.
Shout out to the Field Museum. Let us know when your next free events are so we can go check that out. We'll
Yeah,
do
because we're poor, because no one's giving us any fucking money.
man.
Come on.
If someone wants to sponsor us, we'll do a show from the Field Museum.
Rogue. Or they won't even. Oh, it's not that good.
Yeah, of course it
Ah!
isn't, because you got to pick your own sixer.
Mm.
No, I remember as a kid, one of the things I would do is not just get enamored. I was part of a record club online where it was $7 a month, and they would send you a free CD every month.
Yep.
And I was the piece of shit who would always take my mom and sister's selections and knock them down the list so my shit would show
Yep.
up sooner. And
How did those things exist?
They
like,
were
you
so
look back on
good.
that. I remember my dad being like, everybody pick an album because they're just a penny. And then
Yeah.
like you just like don't fucking pay. And
Right.
then you just get another one. And it's like we had so many fucking CDs.
Well, we
from
got
this
free
shit.
CDs every month, and my favorite time of year was always when my mom got her taxes back.
Yeah.
Because she would give us because Christmases were sometimes rough, and so she would make up for it on tax time.
Mhm.
And one of the things we did was
Birthdays was the worst days. I just wanted to say that.
Man, I love Biggie Smalls.
Yeah,
Love
yeah.
some Biggie. But she would just give us a certain amount of money and just be like, we can either go to the mall or you can buy stuff online.
Yeah.
I remember one year, nothing but CDs, and
Yeah.
and it would come in that cardboard container that CDs would come in, and those were always so much fun to just rip open.
I know.
and just,
It was like a whole fucking
it was
experience.
because it was so physically tangible, and that's
Yeah.
the problem with this.
That's why I
digital
still
music.
buy records. I just got one.
I
and
want-
I ripped open the Amazon package,
And,
and
it's
I
such a
opened
cool
it, and
experience,
It's fucking
isn't it?
beautiful, and you put it on, and you fully if you just have the ability to just put on a song, you're not going to pay enough attention to it.
No, you're
if you
not.
have to, I have the whole shit, turntable, receiver,
You're gonna pay attention
speakers,
to what you're
I
doing.
open the shit up, I look at the insert, I put the record on, I move the needle, and it's like the whole experience that I miss. So I still do that shit.
One of my favorite vinyls that I bought that I lost somewhere around the road was "The Devil and God Are Raging Inside Me" by Brand New.
Yeah, when we were talking about cover art, is that the one where it's the kid peeking around the corner?
The
There's
two demon guys are in the
I've never
pajamas.
listened to them,
Oh my
but
god, drama.
I feel like I would like them, and I've always loved that cover. I
They-
just don't know what. That's one of those bands where I'm like, I don't know what to jump into. You know how
They-
there's some people with extensive.
We'll talk about this
Catalogs,
afterwards,
yeah.
so I don't just have to give music recommendations on the air. But the artwork, I remember specifically buying that and buying Daisy from Brand New. And the beautiful thing about the Daisy artwork is it's that one that has the fox in the middle.
Mhm.
And it's like that picture of a flash in a forest taking the picture of the fox.
Yeah.
And my eye was always drawn to that in the picture, and so I always assumed it was a nighttime scene. But if you look up in the trees in the background, it's more like that late dusk time where the sky gets kind of purple, but there's still enough light out where like you remember as a kid like being awake during that in the summer, you know. And that's what's so
special.
Well, it is, and that's what's so great about that artwork is that it elicits so much feeling the more you look into it. And that's what I really appreciated about Brand New and the artwork they always did, was that it was always this big expansive thing that they had for their vinyl releases. And the actual vinyl for The Devil and God were white marbled with purple.
Oh yeah.
And so it was like swirled throughout and stuff like that. And there was, on the vinyl I had, there was an inconsistency in the vinyl in the way they pressed it.
Yeah.
At the end of Jesus Christ, it would always skip to like 45 seconds into the next song. And I always hated that. And I think that's why I sold the vinyl, because I was like, I would much rather, I paid like $35 for it, but it's like, I would much rather pay for another version that maybe isn't the special edition and just get one that sounds normal. You know?
Exactly.
I got Foyer Yadu by Fall Out Boy on vinyl for my sister for Christmas, and it's such a cool packaging to look at because I never bought the CD.
Yeah.
But the vinyl, it's like swirled orange and multicolor, and it's got like this big fold out poster that comes with it, you know.
Oh yeah. We can't get into vinyl because I have too many that I'm like,
I know. It's like,
if you want to send any fucking record to either of us,
we will open it up.
DapperDadsPodcast@gmail.com. We'll fucking review it on the air. I'll listen to the shit out of it.
We will both listen to it. We'll review the package.
Literally anything. Or your music. Should we review?
Yeah, honestly,
music?
if people would be kind enough to share their music with us, I would be more than happy to. I mean,
I'm very blunt.
I would go as far to say any artistic project that people have, if they wanted us to give their opinion,
go make shit.
Like
guys.
if you have if you're a
a
graffiti artist, a sketch artist, if you do music, if you paint, if you write, I would just really
throw
love
shit on the wall.
Well, I would really just love to see what people are doing, because it's like, I think it's really healthy, especially for young men, to have an artistic outlook, because I feel like in society there's this whole masculinity thing they push on guys, where it's like, oh, you want to do music or art, you know, that's not manly. You don't want to do that. And
you should make whatever the fuck you want to make.
Make whatever
we're
your
making
soul
a
tells
stupid podcast in the basement.
And
so
we're having the time of our lives doing it. Like, I look
like,
forward to doing this every week.
Yeah, there's so much shit. Like, just make shit, because a lot of like life sucks. So just
life
go
is
make
fucking
cool shit.
Life is one constant terrible TV show with commercial interruptions for good times. Take those commercial interruptions and just do
art. And like anything
put
that
your
you
heart
make,
out there.
there is a like demographic for it. There's a fan base for
there
everything.
Always is.
Because you can look at so many things that are trash that people love. So that means not to equate anyone's art with trash. But
there's been so much music that I've discovered going through the internet and like LimeWire and even through Apple Music, and just finding new styles and artists and stuff like that. There truly is a fish for everyone in the sea with some of the stuff I found, but it doesn't mean we don't want to listen to
rap.
I listen to the worst music in the world. I share a lot of music with a very good friend, and when he was in basic, he was playing some for people, and they hand of God believed that he soundtracked horror movies based on this stuff, because I really like ambient music and like instrumental and stuff, like weird avant-garde with like, there's one artist I listen to, her name's Pharmacon. And when you see her live, she has nothing but distortion rigs, and she has this drum setup where it's like a big balloon with these drum pads glued onto it, and she hits the drum pads like wow, and it just creates this really huge. And she uses all these practical things to make the sounds. Like, she has like this weird cupped microphone that's like wrapped in tin foil she does for like one vocal effect, and she has like a fader board that she uses for effects. And it's just this really primal, interesting project, because it's just noise and screaming, but there's like there's a repetitive consistency to it. And it's like, I find a lot of enjoyment in that, where I've honestly showed one other person that artist and they enjoyed it, because it's just not something that most people listen to.
Shit like that out there.
So please send us your most interesting, cool art that you do, even if it's something that we don't like. At least you're out here doing it for yourself.
Do it. Just fucking do it, because like we said, life is garbage.
We're
gonna wrap this bitch up. We gave you the extended one for Labor Day.
We hope everybody's having a fantastic weekend, by the way. Hope you're out there.
Be fucking safe and not
just
stupid.
be safe.
Like, be stupid, but then be
safe about
don't
it.
Fucking drink and drive, and don't do stupid shit, please.
Right.
But
please
fucking
survive and listen to the podcast.
Without you, we're just two weird dudes in a basement. And so this is coming out Labor Day weekend. So if anyone is in Minnesota the following weekend, I'll be out in that bitch. Let's fucking go.
Fantastic.
Because I like to get wild in Minnesota.
I expect some good stories after.
Oh
that
God,
trip.
One of the best, and it'll be on the upcoming Drunk Tales Part 2. Is the most drunk I've ever been.
Fantastic.
And it is a story I've told countless times, so I need to record it so I can just reference it.
Just so we have it for history and future generations.
It's a fucking shit show. The epitome of a shit show. But yes, thank you for listening. Again, dapperdadspodcast@gmail.com.
Check us out on iTunes. Check us out on SoundCloud.
iTunes,
what is the
SoundCloud,
other one?
Stitcher. I don't
Stitcher.
understand.
I keep wanting to call it Farkle, and I know that's not right.
Okay,
Like the
check
game.
us out on Farkle.
That's a game.
The sponsor, Farkle. Yeah, we're on Stitcher. I've never used that, but like
No,
if
but
you
if you do,
we're on it.
yeah.
We're on Google Play.
Yeah, we have one guy who
Yeah.
listens to us on
So
Google
take,
Play.
take back all my offensive statements. Thank you, Google Play. We haven't gotten things onto YouTube, but I'll do that soon. So by the time this comes out, we'll probably be on YouTube.
No, if you guys are interested in YouTube,
and then yeah,
let
if you
us
want
know.
to see like some video, even if it's just small segments, because that might be better.
I don't think anybody wants to sit and watch the full thing.
Yeah,
If you do,
it's-
let us know.
it's
We'll
great.
put it
I mean,
out.
people probably will, but yeah, just give us some feedback. Keep with the 5-star ratings. We're not with the other shit. 4, 3, 2, 1.
If I get a 1-star rating, I'm gonna personally fight whoever does it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna throw that on there. I will
don't
personally
encourage.
don't encourage me. I'm 60 feet tall.